Hello everyone, welcome back to Selenium WebDriver with Java September 2025 batch session 3. In today's session, I will cover a couple of important aspects from Java like Java conditional statement where I will cover if statement, if else statement, nested if else statement and if else if ladder or else if statement along with switch statement. Then we'll cover the method and constructor. Then you will learn what is the importance of canary class and wrapper class. Then we'll discuss about the date and calendar function. Then we'll go to the exception handling where I will try to cover the try catch and finally block and also the importance of throw keyword using which we can create our custom exceptions to handle the exception handling. So in the first session, you already learned about the Java concept. You already learned JDK, like Java Development Kit, JVM, right, and JRE, and you also learned about the different data type, right? You also learned about the different loop like for loop, while loop, do while loop, and you also learned about that break and continue keyword. How with these two keyword we can control the loop. Apart from that, you also learned a little bit about the Java strings and the array. So today we'll start with the conditional statement, which is very important in Java. So what is conditional statement? So in any automation project, our objective is not like from navigate from one page to another page or clicking the function button, clicking the link and navigating to another page. No, sometimes we need to just right, we need to also add some assertion validation point and other stuff required. But anyway, later point of time we'll be learning testng where you can add the assertion through testng as well. But in Java, in case you want to add some like a verification point or error handling part, definitely you can go with that conditional statement. So conditional statement are used to control the flow of the program and insert verification point and error handling. These are control flow structures which enable program to execute different blocks of codes based on whether specific conditions evaluate to be true or false. So in Java, primarily five type of conditional statement available. With like first one is if, then if else, then nested if else, and then if else if or else if, and last one is the switch statement. So we'll cover all the five statement. Okay, if statement, in case you want to just only check that a positive condition, right? Then you can use the if statement. Suppose say just giving example, right? You want to check whether it's a like date, like today's whether it's hot or not. You do not want to check the negative condition, right? You want to just check, or maybe you want to just check how many students pass. You do not worry about the fail part. So you want to just check based on the like condition met or true only. So if statement is used only to specify a block of Java code to be executed if a condition is met or true. But there is a problem in the if statement. If the condition is not true, then your if statement will be completely ignored. So for that drawback, we can like attach that, or we can just optionally add that else part in the if. So in case if is not getting executed or the condition is not met or true, then false part or the condition remaining thing part will be executed as part of the else part. So an if statement can be followed by an optional else statement. Else statement is used to specify a block of code to be executed if the condition is not met or false. So let's see the implementation. So this is the Eclipse, right? Let's create a new class here today in the same package com.selenium.training. I'll create a new class, Java class only creating we are right now. So session 3. So in case you already still having some problem after creating the Maven project, right? We are going to that src test Java folder and we are creating the package first. In the package, you can create the class. And definitely we can select the public static void main method, which is nothing but the main method to start our execution of the program, Java program. Because without the main method, you cannot run anything in the Java. Okay, so this is the main method, public is the access modifier, static is the non-access modifier, void is the return type, and main is the method. Now say let's define something called integer age and give some value called maybe 25. Okay, so this is nothing but the data type like integer, boolean, float, double, long, all this stuff. Okay, primitive data type and non-primitive is nothing but the string, array, all this stuff, and age is the variable, and we're assigning some value. Now we'll try to do some if condition. If age greater than 18, right? And this will be surround with that braces. Okay, so this is the condition, right? If part, if condition, then braces statement here it will come. I can try to print out with the help of the SYSO method system.out.println, like the person is adult, because in case your age is greater than equal to 18, so person will be adult, right? So that is the thing I want to check it. Now if you run the program, what will happen? You could able to see, like it's as it is getting printed in the console. The person is adult. We're able to validate it. But what happen in case condition is false? Suppose the condition is false, not meeting. Okay. So what will happen? It will nothing. It will return. It will just give the blank output. So that is the drawback of if. So in case condition is meeting, you can just go with the if. But otherwise, condition is failing. You need to surround with the else part, with if and else part. So here you can give something called, right, the person is not adult means child still, right? Not adult means not 18 years touch, so he is not adult. Once it's adult, right, person can get the voter card and give the vote, but in case not adult, so they cannot be getting the voter card or they cannot give the vote. So this is the stuff, simple stuff, real time example we want to check with the help of the if else condition. Now we will see the implementation of nested if else. Okay, we'll see how we can do it. Means if else within the if else part, that we can do it, and it will vary based on your different requirement. So here, I want to check first whether the person is adult, and if the person is adult, then I want to check with some other condition that person is senior citizens or not, right? That is the thing I can check it. So what I can do here, this part I can just cut it, and here give another if. Okay, give something called age greater than 60. Okay, greater than just 60 or just touch 60. What I can do, I can simply give something called here, the person is adult and senior citizen too, or here I can give another one else person is adult but not senior citizen. So that's simple, just our real time example of our life, right? We can validate through the if else loop. So you could see here what's happening now. So first, based on the variable value, it will first check that outer if part. In case outer if part is true, then it will go to the inner if else part. In case outer if part is false, then it will directly go to the outer else part. It is going there. Now let's give something called 25. So your outer if part will be true. Now it control will go to the inner if else part. Now it will first check that inner if. In case it is not valid, it will go for the inner else part. So you could see now it is control is going to the inner else. The person is adult but not senior citizen. Now if you give 65, what will happen? Right, so you could see that first control is going to the outer if, now it is going to the else part, if part. So person is adult and senior citizen too. That is the way, right? We can do different kind of implement different kind of conditions mentoring, or you can mentor different condition with the help of the if else and if nested if else as well. Now I'll go to that if else if, then I will take a pause and we can discuss any questions is there. So what is if else if? The name suggests that if else if means first it will if, then else if, else if, else if, and at the end it will be going for the else. If else if ladder, or sometime it calls as else if also, same name, same objective. The if else if ladder or else if statement in Java is a control structure used to evaluate multiple conditions sequentially. So in case you are having more than one condition, you can go for that one. Okay, and execute a block of code corresponding to the first condition that evaluate to true. The structure is particularly useful when there are several possible courses of actions based on different criteria. If none of the condition are true, an optional else block can be executed as a fallback. If condition, right? First it will check for the first if condition. If condition is not true, go for the else if second condition, third condition, fourth condition, like that. If nothing working, it will go for the default else one. So it's else last one else is mean default. Now let's see the implementation. So that is how I can comment out instead of removing from the class. Now just simple way. What is the way you can give the if condition? Right? You can have different thing called different marks, right? But in student in college life, school life, or any examination, right, there might be marks coming. In the school, you used to give the grading based on the overall marks. So you can define something marks as a double or integer, like anything. Marks can be double as well, right? We can make it double variable marks equal to give any value. Suppose say I think give 67.32 like that. Okay, that is the value I can give it. Now what will be giving if condition, the variable marks, percentage of marks, that is getter equal to 30 and ampersand means both the conditions should be matched and marks less than 45. Okay, in case that is matching, then what I will do, I will just try to print out SOISO. The student is average and get got D, right? Sorry, get grade D. So that is the I can use the grading system. Okay. Then I will go. First one is the if part. So just follow my PPTs completely. If condition else if at the end it will be else. Okay. Now I'll go the else if. Okay. In marks greater than equal to 45. You can break it also multiple way. Just I'm giving simple example here. It equal to less equal to 6 less than 60. I can give something called good and get 3. Student get right. Get 3. You can give it C plus, D plus, all this stuff. You can break it every 5% also. Okay, in case getter equal to 60 and say less equal to 80. Okay, I can mention that very good and get B. Okay, and getter equal to 80 and less equal to 100. Okay, I can mention excellent. Okay, here I can instead of equal to I can give some hyphen. Excellent, and here I can give get A. And last one I'll be giving else. Here what I can do, I can give else last one. Okay, say fail and no grade. That simple thing in case people are right, any student is getting less than 30%. So that is the generic thing, but you can give sometime right 25% also pass marks. So if that is the requirement, you can give that condition. So now what will happen? It will try to execute your right if else if part whatever based on your criteria you are giving. Now you could see we have given 67.32. What is coming? It is coming as grade B because 60 to 80 range is there. In case you are giving something called 87.32, what will happen? It will coming that filter criteria. Okay, you could see it is coming like A, grade A, excellent. Now in case you are giving 27.32, so not a single if part is matching if or else if. It will go to the default else part. So that is the way you can try to right use that if else if or else if right part. If else if ladder or else if. Okay, so this is the four statement yeah, conditional statement we have learned so far: if else, nested if else, and if else if ladder or else if statement in Java. Any questions? I will take a pause. Okay, all good everyone? Any doubt? Okay, fine. Then the last conditional statement, which is very popular, is called I've tried to give some example also. I'll share the PPT so you can just give more practice. Okay. So I just tried to give some example which is not mostly I'm covering here, but you can just do more practice, so that will help you. Okay. I will cover that. So now I'll discuss about the switch statement. Switch is very also similar to if else part, but switch is more, I could say that, right, better way, like we can represent it. Okay, and we can use the break part as well in the switch, which is not possible in the if else part. Right. In case my condition is matching, I do not want to iterate the other part, so that is not possible in the if else part because it will still iterate all the condition. Okay, because there is no break. So sometimes questions will be coming that what are the key important thing where you'll be using the break. So break definitely you can use in the all the loop, for loop, while loop, do while loop. Along with break you can use in the switch conditional statement as well. So switch statement allows a variable to be tested for equality against a list of values. Each value is called a case, and the variable being switched on is checked for each case. The switch statement primarily work for short, character, integer, long data type. The case value must be unique. In case you are giving duplicate, it will be throwing the error immediately. It cannot be duplicate. It will throw the compile time error. Okay, immediately. Each case statement can have a break statement which is optional. When control reaches to the break statement, it jumps the control after the switch expression. If a break statement is not found, it will execute the remaining all the cases until it is found in the break or it is going to the default statement. What is the syntax? You already see switch expression, case value, statement, and optionally break. Again, case, and last you can give the default. And at the last, there is no break because that is the last one, right? By default, it will be executed. Okay. So I already given an example for the grading part. That part you can give a try. Okay. Like case A, grade A means excellent, grade B means good, very good with the character data type. Okay. Whatever way we have covered in the appeals, but vice versa I have covered. And default one is invalid grade. But here I will try to show you other way. Suppose say there is a school, okay, primary school, maybe only one to maybe fourth standard is there in the primary school. Primary in our government school in basically West Bengal, there is 1 to 4 standard is called primary. Okay, and 5 to 10th standard is called secondary. 11, 12 is called right higher secondary, and then college life will be coming like that. So I want to deal with that. I want to understand based on the case, like whether my student is belong to class 1, 2, 3, 4, or like outside that, maybe pre-nursery or like before primary or after primary, like that. It can happen. So what is the way I can do? I will try to just use a integer value. Okay, like integer student class equal to, you can give some value. Okay, 1 to 10 integer, it will be any positive value, better give it. And then I will be using switch. Okay, here you need to give, just follow the syntax properly. Switch expression. What is the expression? This is the expression. And then give the bracket. Now try to give the case. So what is the case? Case is the keyword, then value. What is the way I want to do? One. Then give the colon, and then here give that out like expression. Sorry, give that statement. Okay, statement. So I can give something called student belong to simple, just our real time example, primary standard one. Okay, like that, and I can give break. Then what I can do, I can just check only 4 condition, because that is the primary. In case you are going for the secondary, you can check from 5 to 10. You could see now error is coming. Why? Because case should be always unique, it cannot be duplicate. So I can give 2, error will be gone for one case. I can give something called standard 2, and then I can go for the case 3 and standard 3, and I can go for the last one, case 4. Now you could see all error gone, and it is standard 4. Now at last I need to give the default, because in case nothing is matching, it will go to the default case. Default, and here no break is required because that is the last case. Okay, that student does not belong to primary standard 1 to 4. That's all. It can be pre-primary or it can be upper primary. Like that simple thing. Now what I have given here? Given 2, right? So let's try to run it. So what will be happening? Based on the case, you could see student belong to the primary standard 2 because this is the case is being executed, and break is there immediately, your like case is being terminated here. It is not going for the other one. So that is the way you can save the time. You no need to iterate for the other case. As and when break is there, you already seen the loop immediately terminating. Similarly, if you give something called 4, you could see what will happen here. It will go for that one, case 4. Now, if you give anything which is not 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe outside or maybe 0 or negative, because integer will still take the value, it will be giving that student does not belong to primary 1 to 5. Now, what will happen if you just disable that break? Okay, simply break it, like only 2 break. Now, give the value as 2. Let's see what should happen. Okay, case 2 is matching, but there is no break. So it will go for the other case, it will print out that one. Here also break is not there, it will go for the till one. After that break is happening, now it will break that one. It will not execute the default. So that is the drawback. Though it is optionally, it's better to surround the break. Otherwise, all the conditions will be executed. Okay. So there is no restriction that you have to use, but still I could say that better to use that break. Otherwise, it will execute still the remaining line of code as well. So there is no hard and fast rule that you have to use that break in switch condition, but until you are using it, though your condition is matching, still it will execute the remaining line of code. It will create trouble for you. Okay, so that is the way you can deal with the switch statement. Switch statement primarily work with the character, short, int, long data type. Every case should be unique. In case you are not making unique, it will show that compile time error. Compile time error is nothing but as when you are writing the code, you are saving the code, you will be immediately able to see the error. That is called compile time. And sometimes it's called runtime error, means during saving the code you will not get that error, but when you're running it will be getting the error. That is called runtime error. So this is the two kind of error will be coming: compile time, runtime, and one is called crashing the system, right, which will be completely out of the out of memory, or like network issue or completely system breakdown. That is called the other error. Okay, so that is the way you can deal with the switch statement. Primarily, whenever you in the Selenium, you already dealing with the different browser, maybe you just got some idea, right? But in the real time, whenever you will developing the framework, right, we'll be using multiple browser. We'll write the code for multiple browser, whether it's a Chrome, Firefox, Edge, all this stuff. But we can give the condition there that in case you are giving the value as a Chrome, so only Chrome browser will be open. In case you are giving the value as a Firefox browser will be open. So that is the way you can give the in the switch case primarily during the framework development, so that based on your browser value, automatically the relevant browser driver will be called and that browser will be executed. So that is the real-time example of the switch conditional statement in the Selenium WebDriver during framework development. Okay, I will take a pause. Any other questions here? Otherwise, I'll go to the next topic. Okay, good. Okay, then I'll go to that method, right? Or it is called sometimes called functions. Okay, let's give some simple example, very simple here. Let's so okay, give something called hello Java. Okay, now say this type I need to run for 5 times, like that. Okay, now I have just saved the code and run it. Okay, you could see coming. Tomorrow I wanted to update you, instead of hello Java, let's update hello Python. So what you all human being, what you can do, you can try to do something like that, hello Python, and one thing I can mistake. Okay, and another thing I can do something like hello Java Python. That human being we can do mistake. In case 1000 thing is there, I cannot possible to fix one or two thing I can mistake. Now I could see there's a problem in the output, right? So it is very tough to like manually or through other way, right? Update everything wherever that same line is being called. So what is the best solution? I can try to create a method, public, say test method or hello Java. This is the one I can create it, like method name. Okay, this is the syntax of the method. Okay, and here I can give that body. Okay, so let's do it. Or you can create a static also. So in case you are creating a static method, then you need to create the object or instance. You can directly give it where you need to give the return time. So always whenever you are creating the method, let's first give the access modifier, and then create the method name and give that first bracket, and within the second braces you give the body. And now what is returning is returning not, right? Return type is nothing, so it will be giving as void. So that is the simple way you need to do. Okay, so that's written I have. Now what I will do, I will try to call it. Okay, because it says public, I can give static as well. So static means you no need to create the object or instance. It's a global, right? Either in method level or variable, it's globally, and it can be accessible in the same class anywhere. Now what I'll do, I'll just simply call that method because it's a static. In case it's non-static, you need to create the object or instance, and then you can call the method. Now I can call it 5 times. Understand it, right? So what will happen? It will print hello Java 5 times. Okay. Now tomorrow your requirement is hello Java. Let's update it to Python. See what's happening now. I'm just updating only one place, and everywhere it is changing it. So how easily I can do it? And day after tomorrow again somebody says no, revert it to hello Java again. Just I'll be updating it here, and everywhere automatically where the method is being called, everywhere it is getting updated. That is the beauty of the method, means reusability. I am writing it only one time, and I can access them n number of time. In case I need to update something, I will only just update in the method automatically. Wherever the method is being called, everywhere it will be updated. So that is the beauty of the method, or sometime it is called as, right, functions. Okay. Now we will discuss about that. We say method, Java method is a set of statements that are grouped together to perform an operation. A method is a block of code which only runs when it is being called. User can pass data, or right, you cannot pass data as well. In case you are passing the data, those data is called as argument or parameter into the method based on their need. Whenever user want to perform any operation multiple times, better to go with the method, and they also should be choosing to create the method. Method are also known as function. Primarily, there are two type of methods available in Java. One is built-in method, that is already built in. So you already see string method, right? Like to uppercase to lowercase, trim, like replace, contain, start with all this part. Those are the method will be coming from the string class. Okay, built-in method in Java I am talking about. In case I am talking about the Selenium, you already seen about that different method in the web driver interface or the class available, right? Home driver class, like driver dot get, like driver dot find element, all this stuff. And there is another example built-in method, date and time method or calendar method. I'll be discussing it today. And user-defined method. Apart from built-in, we can create our own method. And user-defined two types primarily. One is without returning value, or return type will be void, and one is with returning value. So we already learned about without returning the value, which is void. Okay, this method always try to create in the class level, guys, not at the main. Okay, always try to create this method as class level. Okay, and then call it in the main method. I will try to create a method, again public, okay, without static. Okay, public, do not give the return type right now, give it something called add, and here pass some argument. Okay, let's pass some argument, integer a comma integer b, like that, and give that one. Let's create the structure first. Error will be there, that's fine. Now what will be there, you can try to create a one variable integer c, and you can give something called a plus b. That's all. And you can try to print out the value, or sorry, return that integer c. That's all. Now what we are returning? You are returning c. What is c? C is the sum of a plus b, and return type is integer. Now copy integer and just add it here instead of void. That's all. You could see error message gone. So do not write something like publisher integer add public void add. No. First write the statics access modifier and method name. In case you want to pass any argument, give the body, and based on the body see what is the return type is coming in the method, then do it. Now it is not a static method, so you cannot directly call it. So what you need to do, you need to first create the object or instance for this class. Okay, just a minute, I will take it. Okay, now object created. Now with the help of the object, what you can do, you can just call the object, and you could see method is coming from the session 3. What is return type? Return type is integer a, and you need to pass two parameters argument as a integer. I can pass something called 20 and 30. Then I'll be storing it integer. Okay, integer int result equal to something like that, and then I can print it out the value. Or what you can do, you can directly print it out also after calling the method. Okay, with a different value. Let's give object directly also dot add method, and you can give the other value, maybe say 40 and 60, and you can give the other variable. Like, let's run it and let's see what's happening here. Okay, you could see this one 20 and 30 sum is happening, 50 is coming, and 40 and 70 is 110 is coming. Now say tomorrow if you want to give like want to do with other variable, you want to change it to three variable, so integer d, and you can now sum it integer a plus b plus d, because you already defined c, that is the reason I'm taking it. Now you can pass one more variable, otherwise it will be throwing the error. Otherwise, because three argument you need to pass, whether it may be zero, but three argument you need to pass. You can pass some negative sign as well, 20 negative 20. Okay, because this is the integer will take negative to positive value with 0. You could see now 20 plus 30 equal to 80, 40 plus 70 actually minus 20 equal to 90. So that is the way you can do it. So in case something need to change, you will just adding that method, and accordingly based on the argument you can just change it, right? In case you two argument is there, if you want to change the method body to a minus b, it will still work, but it will behave still same way. Okay, so I'll be explaining it once. Okay, there will be might be user defined method two type, with one is void returning not returning anything, one is return type. Return type means anything, it can return data type, like it can be string, it can be like integer, all this stuff. So in case you are creating some method, give the access modifier, make it static if required. Do not give that return type immediately. And if any argument you need to pass or parameter need to pass it there. Then try to do the operations and definitely return something, or void only. In case you're returning something, see what returning and whatever data type of this particular return variable, and then add it there. In case here not returning anything, just printing out simply means not returning anything. So I'm making it as a void. So that is the way you can try to create your method based on your requirement. Yeah, any questions? Yeah, will go. Yeah, here you could see it is not returning and just printing it, right? Just doing the operation printing, not returning anything. It is just printing the value. It is returning anything? No. It is just printing the value. That is the reason we are giving return type as void. Means it is just simply printing the value. Okay, but here what is doing? It is doing some operation. We are trying to pass that integer a, b, and c. Now what it is doing? It is just simply right doing some operation a plus d, b plus d, and storing it some integer, right? And this c I want to return. I do not want to print it here. In case you want to print it, return type will void. But this value I want to return it. So what I'm returning? I'm returning C. What is C? C is integer again. So that integer I'm returning it here. That is the reason whenever you are calling it, right, the method, you could see return type is coming as integer again, because it is not directly printing the value, because it will give you the integer value, and then you can print it out after storing in some variable. But here directly hello Java, it is directly void, right? It is just simply like do the immediate thing, okay, without return type. Yeah, why? I just showed you two way. Because this return type you could see integer, na? Hmm. No, forget about this. Forget about this part. Okay. So whenever you are calling, it will work. There is no problem. But it will not print anything in the console. Because this is the return type. Yes. And after that I want to print the value as well, right? So that I can directly use SYSO method, or I can store in some variable. Because this return type is like integer. Or I can directly call it here also. That's not be a big deal. Okay. So that part I already showed in the other way, right? You can directly call it here. similar way. So I have just showed you two approach, because that value I want to, you can store in some way so that it can be used later point of time. Because what we are calling that method, and that method whatever return type is giving, I have stored in case I want to use later point of time n number of time. In case you want to just print it only one time, directly call that one. SOS method directly call the method. But suppose say this value I want to use it 10 times, so definitely I'll be storing somewhere, right? In case I want to use it n number of time. In case I want to use only one time, then I can directly call it. There is no harm. Yeah, yes. Right. So instead of writing so many line, right, just like that one, right, hello Java, right, we have tried to call it that method. Similarly, I can create a variable, and that variable value I can call it n number of time. Just giving a simple example. Okay, let's see this one I have did, right. Now what I want to do, I want to print the result. After that, I, with the help of the result reference, okay, with this result reference value, I want to maybe give something called um, plus 100. Okay, same variable I'm using. Now next one, you want to do something called, say, minus 20, right? So that is the thing, right, you can use. So that variable value I can use n number of time in case I'm storing it. Yeah, but if you want to directly access it, you can just directly call it in the SYSO method. SYSO method is nothing, just to let you know that how it is behaving. Okay, but in the real framework, you will not no need to do the SOS method, right? There is no point of printing something. So your objective is matching, assertion is matching. That's all, right? Yeah. Then we will go with the constructor. So constructor is, there is similarity with the method. So there will be definitely question will be coming. What is constructor? What is similarity and what is dissimilarity? So constructor is also similar to method. Okay, and just like method, we can overload. Anyway, at that part I'll cover in the Java ops concept. And constructor can be overloaded. Means same method I can create it, but you cannot create with the same signature. Okay, but constructor can also be overloaded. But constructor name should be always method name. Difference is, sorry, class name. Means in case you are creating any class name, same name as the class name, that might be a constructor. And constructor cannot have a return type. That is the main thing of constructor. And whenever you are creating the object or instance, immediately your constructor will be invoked, and constructor cannot be static. Okay, now let's try to see, create a constructor first. What is the session 3, right? So it will be same name, public, and session 3, same name as the method name, and give something called, okay, test constructor. Okay, now what will happen, as and when you are creating the object or instance, right here, immediately that constructor will be invoked. Here only you will getting the output, this one. So that is the beauty of the constructor. So you no need to, right, create the object or instance, and you need to call the method separately. Automatically it will be invoked. So you can have less, one step less, right? You could see it is coming. Okay, so and constructor can be overloaded. I'll explain it all more details, because in case you cannot create the method or constructor same way multiple times, it will throw you the error. Okay, same name will not allowed until you are changing the signature here. Okay, so signature means here I can pass some argument like a, so you could see error gone. So same name can be there, but you are changing some signature, that is fine. Suppose say in any organization, okay, there can be any person two name, like my name is Haradhan and Pal. There might be one person Haradhan and Pal. Okay, there might be same age, same height, same salary, same region, everything. But what is different? There might be some different called employee ID. Okay, so that might be different. So that is the way here signature might be different. So what you can do after that, you can concatenate, give something called test constructor, and concatenate, and you can give the value as a. So that is the way it will be understanding the differences. Concatenation sign like that. Now let's try to create a new constructor again, another object, and where you can pass it, right? Where you can pass object one constructor, and you can pass that one, right? The variable integer value. It will be coming stage constructor and 5 like that. Okay, so you could see test constructor 5 is coming here. This line number. But as and when you are adding this return type, do not change anything return type. It will be treated as a method, not constructor. Because constructor should be same name as the class name. Method name also can be same name as the class name. There is no problem. But constructor cannot have a return type. That is the will be identifying whether it's a constructor or is a method. Okay, return type means any return type, void or integer double means it is a method. Method can have any name. Constructor should be always having the same name as the class name. And constructor cannot have a return type. Constructor can be overloaded. And static keyword also you cannot define for the constructor, but method you can make it static. So constructor is a block of code similar to the method. It is called when an object or instance of right is created, or whether when an instance of the object is created and the memory is allocated for the object. The main purpose of constructor is to initialize the object of a class. Initialize the object of a class, while the purpose of a method is to perform a task by executing Java code. In other words, constructor provide memory to an object. Without initializing the object, we cannot use its property. Okay, so as and when you are creating the object with the help of the new keyword, your constructor will be invoked, and your constructor should be same name as the class name. Constructor cannot have a return type. Constructor cannot be static. Constructor can be overloaded means same constructor I can create it, but with changing the signature means either changing the data type or number of parameter all the way. Okay, let's try to create one more constructor here. What is the way I can overload? Okay, you could see error message is coming. So either you can change the number of argument or type of argument. Here you can make something called double. That's fine. This type is getting changed, data type is getting changed, but same way. Okay. Now in case you want to call it, okay, what you can do, you can create a new object again. Okay, object 2, you can give the value different value like 5 point something like that, double like that. So it will be printing like that way. Okay, 1 second. Let's see. So what is the importance of constructor? That it will reduce the number of line of code. Because in case you are creating the object, you need to create the object for instance first. After that, with the help of the object reference, you need to call the method again separately. But in constructor, you no need to do it. In the real time, primarily whenever you want to deal with the Excel file, right? You can create a constructor with the class name, right? With the Excel file name, path, all this stuff. So automatically I can directly go to that Excel sheet without creating object and calling the method separately. So that is the way. Lot of thing also there. You will be learning slowly what is the way you can real time use it in the constructor and method in the real time Selenium part. But this is the just for the concept part. And until you are learning the concept, then you will not able to understand where you will actually implement it. Because all the Java concept, whatever you are learning, we'll be using it slowly down the line in our Selenium part and the framework part. Okay, I will take a pause again. Any questions? Okay. So all the way, apart from this document, right? Mostly it is written, but still I am uttering few of the words. So just make a note there. And these are the thing might be help, right? Whenever any kind of interviewer will be asking the question, because small thing, the concept they'll be asking it also. Those everything we cannot write, right? If that is the reason we are discussing it here. So just make a note. Something is not you are able to find it the document from this video later. Okay. So here I have just given some example. You can later understand and let me know in case you are having any problem is coming. So just define a like car class and define two variable like model string and year, right? Manufactured year, right? And we are creating a default constructor. Public access modifier car is the name and without any argument, and this is the default one. And we can create a parameterized constructor where we are passing that model and year. Now we are using the this keyword. So there might be question that what is this keyword? Because these variables you want to match it with your argument, whatever passing. So this is the keyword means this dot model means it will be referring to your class variable with this keyword, and this model is referring to the argument. So this model it is trying to match with here. That is the reason we'll be using this keyword. Otherwise, it will model equal to model means it is still referring both the way. So as and when you are using this keyword and dot variable, it will always try to access your variable declared at the class level. So that is the way of matching it. Okay, slowly in the framework you'll be learning more stuff little. And now we're just trying to print it out. Let's run this code. Later you can try it. And we are creating parameterized method, other method, right? And you are sorry, this is a method. You could see we are using the return type. Okay, then we are creating the object. Automatically all the constructor will be invoked, and for the method you need to create the object and they need to call the method separately to use it until it is not static one. In case it is static you can directly call it, but in case it's non-static you need to create the object first. After that you need to call that method separately. Just give a try. This code also you can practice it and let me know in case you are having any doubt later. Now we'll see about the scanner class. What is scanner class? Means if you want to scan something, right? Means you want to execute your code, after that somebody will be popping you to give some value, right? That you can give it and you can see the how it is working, behaving like that. So the Java scanner class located within the java.util package. So all this thing will be coming in the java.util package. Is the utility designed for parsing primitive types and string, primarily all the primitive type and string from various input sources such as the console. In the console if you want to do, you can use system.in files or other strings object. So these are the methods available. If you want to like print something, work with some boolean, you need to call the method called next boolean, right? Double next double, byte next byte, float next float method. In case you want to deal with some integer value, you need to call that next in method. In case you want to deal with some string, you need to like call that next line method. In case you want to deal with some long data type, you need to call the long next long method. Similarly short, right? You can call next short method. So there is a scanner class available in Java in the Java util package. With the help of that, you can try to run, take some value from the console during execution. So what is the way we'll do? Let's comment out all this part. What I'll be doing, just I'll be using a scanner class. I can give some variable scanner, exactly same name. Scanner, you can give any variable name, either scan or scanner equal to, you need to give something called new scanner system.in because you want to try to give it from the console. God, sorry. New scanner system.in input stream, right, from the console, and end with colon. And now you need to see error message coming, so you need to import it from the Java util package. Now scanner class object already created. Now if you just give something called SOISO like that, let's enter your name. Okay, I want to give it something like enter with the double quote, enter your name. I'm asking you to enter your name. That's all. Then what you can do, you can just call that scanner object, whatever created scanner class object dot, your name is string. So what I need to do, next line that method, next line method, right? You could see it is handling for the string, return type is string coming from a scanner class. Select it, you could see advances the scanner past the current line and return the input that was skipped. This method return the rest of the current line excluding any line separated by at the end. This position is set to the beginning of the next line. So you can call it, and now you can store it some string value. Okay, return type is string, so string say name variable. That's all. Now similar way you can try to use for the other one. Now you can give something called your age. Enter your age. Okay, and here it will be integer. Age will be integer, so I can give something integer variable age, and I can use scan dot next int. Okay, integer type is integer. Now I can go with some salary which will be double. Okay, enter your salary. Okay, and it will be double variable because salary will be double figure, and say salary. Okay, here it will be next double. That is the way you can call it, whatever required. Okay, next double, return type is double. Now what you can do, you can try to print it out everything. Okay, let's give print it out. User name is, okay, you can concatenate with this value variable name variable. Okay, and then again concatenate, user name is this, again concatenate, give the double quote, give some space, salary, monthly salary, salary is, something like that. You no need to give that colon, better. Salary is, again this particular variable concatenate. What is the variable for salary? This variable, and again give concatenation sign, and user is concatenate with that age years old. So that is the way I want to do it. Okay, wherever concatenation variable is directly you can give it. You don't need to give anything, but other part, string part you can give with that one. So this is space will be coming. Now let's see. If you want to run it now, what will happen? It will ask you to enter the value. Okay, you could see enter your name. I can mention like Haradhan. Okay, you could see it is getting green. Means you are entering. Enter your age. Now I can enter something called say 37. Okay, enter your salary. Now I can give something called maybe 55,000 month. Just giving a simple example, 65,000. Now 18 enter. After all the value entered, you could see now. Username is Haradhan. Monthly salary is 65,000. Zero. Why it is coming is double. We've given us a double. And user is 37 years old. So that is the way you can use the scanner class whenever you need to give some input accordingly from the any other source. Also you can use later point of time you can understood. But here just we are trying to give from the console. So scanner is the class available in the Java util package. We are creating the object for instance, and we are trying to give that input from the consoles only. And here you are just trying to give the message, enter your name. Okay, and you are just entering your name, which is string. That is the reason you are storing in string. Enter your age, which is integer. Enter your salary, which is double. And once everything is entered properly one by one, then you are able to get the desired result. This line of tab you no need to also use. If you know that what are the sequence you need to give, you can directly call this one. This is just nothing to give you information. Okay, if you just comment it out, that also still work. There is no worry. Okay, it is just giving information what you need to enter. Okay, now let's save the code and let's run it again. Now you can enter one by one, right? I will enter the age again, Haradhan. Okay, again enter my age. Then name is there. Then age, suppose say 35 this time. Okay, and salary maybe I can give say 45,800.75 paise. Enter. If you know everything, now you could see same thing is coming accordingly based on the value you are giving, because this is your name, this is your salary, whatever you have given here, and this is the year of old. So that is the way. Few of the time, sometime, right, there might be some input also need to be required because you are having a lot of thing you have already written the code. but you do not want to execute it based on the condition, whatever input you are giving, sometime you need to execute it. Okay, so that is the way you can try to use it. But I mean, in the Selenium, it is not mostly used because we'll be creating the framework. Just we'll be trying to pass it through the testng XML file. But this is the alternate approach in case small project that they can try to enter the value from the console as well. Any questions? Okay, fine. Then we'll discuss about the wrapper class. So whatever we have learned about data type, right? Different data type we have learned primitive, non-primitive. So they are data type actually, but they do not belong to any class. But what the problem happen? You'll be learning the collection framework, Java collection framework in next session. Okay, session 5 you'll be learning. But Java collection framework does not understand all this part called data type. They only understand class and object concept. So those data type I cannot use in the Java collection framework because those data type does not belong to any class and they are not any object. So what I need to do, I need to convert them to from the data type to any object for a particular class. So those class which is supporting that data type conversion is called wrapper class in Java. So to solve this drawback, wrapper class came into the picture. For every data type, 8 data types, there are 8 wrapper class available primarily. Okay, for byte data type, wrapper class is byte, short, integer, int, data type is integer, long, float, double, all this stuff. 8 wrapper class, 8 data type is available. A wrapper class is a class whose object wraps or contain primitive data type. Wrapper classes are used to convert primarily any data type into an object. The primitive data types are not object. They do not belong to any class. They are just defined in the language itself. Sometimes it is required to convert data type into object in Java language. So wrapper class provide a mechanism to wrap primitive data values in an object so that primitives can do activities reserved for the object like being added to different collection framework like array list, hash set, hash map, etc. in the collection. So no need to worry, collection will be learning slowly and you'll be seeing that implementation of the wrapper class there. So wrapper class instances can hold null value unlike primitive data type, which primitive data type cannot hold except string, which is non-primitive data type. So any primitive data type cannot hold any null value. It can hold 0 or 0.0, but null value it cannot hold. But wrapper class can hold. Instance can hold the null value. So this is the another one advantage is there. And apart from that, there are a couple of advantages. I'll be discussing it. You can understood. Okay. Let's see the implementation. So what I will do, I will just comment out this part. Let's try to define some variable integer I equal to 50. I can print out the value of the I. There is no harm. It will be giving me 50 only. But this is not belong to any class. This is not. It's just simply data type. Okay. So what is the way I can just convert it to a class? Okay. So I need to call the relevant wrapper class object. Okay. I need to create an object for this integer. There is a wrapper class is integer. Okay. You could see here. This integer, int data type, integer wrapper class. So integer, and I can create something called wrap int, that variable name equal to new integer is the class and object I'm converting, and here I can provide that data type. That's all. So now that object created for this data type. Now if you want to just call this object, it will be same printing the same value, but now it is object, not the data type. So that is the difference. Now it is object. Both will be giving me 50-50. But here I is the data type, simply primitive data type, and here it is that object. Okay. Yeah, this is nothing but actually this is called your suppress or warning. Okay, maybe sorry, it is wrap int. Okay, maybe some of the thing might be later point of time, they might be removed. Okay, or new thing might be coming. So that is the way they are used to create all this part. Okay, sometimes this kind of suppress or warning might be coming. Maybe later point of time there is a plan to remove. Okay, then whatever will be maybe just removed from this part. Later point of time they will be creating some functionality. That is the way they used to create something like that. Okay, so that user can get to know that maybe this kind of stuff might be coming with new thing. So they can never later point of they can update it accordingly. This cross symbol might be coming. Okay, okay, this is the only one example here for the wrapper class. Okay, then another one, if you want to directly create the wrapper class, you can also delete, right? Suppose say I want to just directly define the object using wrapper class, so I can use like that. Okay, like instead of char I can use character. Okay, like that I can use the wrapper class object character directly class, and I can create something called char variable. Okay, my char equal to, I can give any value, or I can define null. It will allow me. You could see it is allowing me because now it is wrapper class. Otherwise, any PPT data type it will not allow you to make it null. Okay. Now let's see integer I, or maybe integer anything. Okay, I1. Will it allow to enter null? No. Immediately throw you the error because this PPT data type cannot hold you like a null value. You need to give something. But if you change it to integer, it will allow you simple thing. That is the couple of other example of the wrapper class. Okay, next example I'll be giving it very important. Suppose a string define something called string equal to 100. Okay, this is string, you could see this is string. Okay, and give some value called str. Okay, now if you want to do some operation, just simply concatenation primarily. Okay, str plus say another 100. Okay, what will be the output? Can anyone tell me what will the output here? Tell me, just give a try. Yeah, absolutely fine. Why? Because it is a string. Though value is actually integer, but still is a string variable, na? Right? Data type is string. So I can use get this one, right? This one to 100 and 100 concatenation. Not actually some person is happening. Some operation is not happening. It is concatenation. But right, somehow some person forgotten mistakenly defined something as a string, but actual value is double or integer or something short or in like that. But after that, I want to do that actual operation based on the instead of string value, I want to get it. So then, what is the way I can do it? Okay. So what you can do, you can just there is a method available. In case it's you want to convert it to integer, something is already there. You can just call that integer class. Then there is a method called parseInt. Okay, you could see parseInt. And what is returning? It is returning string converting to integer. Right? You could see it is coming from the integer class, right? You could see parses the string argument as signed decimal integer. The character in the string must all decimal digit only here, except in case you are having other digit, it will throw you the error. But in case everything is the same digit, then you can use it. Okay, string, and then I can store it some integer, say integer like uh, new int variable. Okay, now let's try to do the same operation with the new variable, whatever is converted. Okay, 1. Okay, now it will be output will be 100 plus 100 equal to 200 only. So in case it is double is there, okay, double value, right, or decimal value, you can use that double dot parse double method. You could see here something will be coming called double. These are the all the wrapper class double dot parse double, right? It's coming. Again, it is converting string to decimal, double value, double class from coming, right? So that is the another important thing you can use with the help of this wrapper class. Okay, so wrapper class plays very pivotal role, right? You can directly define object using the wrapper class. or you can convert that normal data type to the wrapper class object, or in case primarily some of the wrapper class is defined as a string but is holding like short, int, long data type, and you can convert it. After that you can do some relevant concatenation operation, you can do it. But in case, right, is 100 is having something instead of 100, it is having 100 and I, right, say it will throwing the error because it is not purely integer value, it will showing you the other error, right? Number format exception, because that is not pure number, it is having some character, so you cannot convert it until it's fully the double or other thing, right, integer value. In case fully there, then it's fine. Even any space also it will not work, hopefully, because space is also a character, it will also throw the same error, right? So that is the stuff you need to remember. This will be giving number format exception. Okay, any doubt? Okay, good. Okay, then now we'll see the implementation of date and calendar class functions. Why we require? Because sometimes you need to print your date, or sometimes suppose say in the Selenium you need to take the screenshot where you need to append, right, the current date, time, minute, hour, all these parts, so that you can understand which date is executed. If you want to generate some report, you need to give the system date, day, minute, hour, second, all this stuff. Or you need to just add your calendar to 100 days, 2 years, 1 year, sometime requirement. So this, and you can need to change the format of the date, whatever is coming by default. So for those part, your date and calendar functions will be coming into the picture. The class date represents a specific instance in time with millisecond precision. The date class of Java util package implement, okay, the clonable, comparable, okay, serializable interfaces. It provides constructor and method to deal with date and time in Java. Java calendar.class is an abstract class that provides method for converting date between a specific instant in time and set of calendar fields such as month, year, hour, etc. It inherits object class and implement the compatible interface, comparable interface. Now let's see first that calendar class, then we'll go to the date class. So this is the syntax you need to remember how to create an object of the instance of the calendar class. Calendar is the class. You can create an object called cal or calendar, whatever way you can do. And here you need to call that calendar class dot get instance. It is not the same way always. Dot get instance. Dot calendar. Okay, sorry, my bad. Calendar. Okay. Calendar. Yeah. Dot get instance. So why it is not coming? I was doing some mistake. Calendar. Yeah. 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 Right. Right. We'll do it. Change it. So what I need to do? Now you could see error message will be coming still because you need to import that calendar. Okay, I think it's imported already from the Java util package, right? This is the calendar class. You need to import it from the Java util package. Now what is that the object is created? Now what you can do, you can just simply print out that instance cal object dot get time. Okay, get time millis, get time zone. Okay, my bad. Yeah, we'll just a second. We'll take that questions. Okay, then give something called get dot get time zone. Okay, here after that, if you want to get only the hour, all this part, you can call that get method, and here you can give something called calendar class dot er, hour, minute, second, all this stuff. If you press dot, you could see that hour, minute, month, day of the year, day of the week, all this part will be coming. Okay, then dot get calendar dot year only. If you want to print the year only, okay, that is also possible. Now, if you want to print, okay, we need to give that colon here. We need to give one more bracket. Okay, here also cal dot get. Okay, here cal dot get again, and here you can give calendar class dot something, whatever you can call number of day of the week. Okay, we have already given a day of the year like that, or year, minute, second, hour, all the stuff you can give it. Right now, let's try to run. Okay, you could see. Okay, what is coming? Okay, it is Saturday, September 20. Today's date 8:15, 42nd. Okay, IST 2025. This is the generic format you will be giving based on the thing whatever. Time zone, it is Asia Calcutta time zone. Okay, day of the year 263. Why? Because it's September 20. If you calculate January is 1, January 30 is 31, February 28 is 31 plus 28, 59. That is the way it will be calculating 263 days for this year. Year is 2025, and again day of the year, right? You can change it to other thing also. Okay, day of the week dot day of the week. Okay, which week it is belong to? Saturday it will be week 7, day 7. Because Sunday is day 1 starting like that. It will be day 7 hopefully. Yes. Because Sunday is day 1, Monday 2, 3, 4 like that, and Saturday will be say day 7 in the Java. It's logic it calculate. Okay, yeah, I'll take the questions now. Hmm. Yes. Yeah, okay. I already told it is not the same way for couple of classes. Predefined class these are, na? So this is not the same way calendar, calculator, new calendar. No, it will not work. Okay, this is the one or two thing you need to just little bit conscious. Because that is the way Java already developed. Huh? This is the inbuilt class in Java. No, 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 it might not work. That is the only thing. No, no, no. Because you are trying to get the instance of the calendar from the calendar. Specific instance. That is the only thing. Yeah, yeah, class. These are the method, na? These are the method. Okay. No. It is a class. Calendar is a class. Yeah. You could see mouse it over. You could see C. Okay. In case its interface will be coming I, na? That is simple difference. Okay. Let's give something called web driver. Okay. Just giving a simple example. No, that is the thing, right? Better, na? That is the best thing, I could say. No, interview was no, you cannot give other way. Otherwise, you need to give go to the package and you need to just check it only. No, I do not know other way. Okay, so that is the only way I know. Now, if you just mouse it over, you could see I. Which package coming, it is giving me the. Otherwise, you can expand the package, right? And you can go there and then you can also check it. Okay. But yeah, slowly you'll be walking, you will can already able to recall what is class, what is interface. Okay, this is the I mean best way. You can search also in case the other options available. I'm not aware. That is the only option I used to prefer only to check it. Okay, now is already there your default thing. But let's say you want to just change the calendar date. Okay, okay, maybe year, month, or thing you want to add it. So what you can do, I can use that cal object dot add like here. I want to change that calendar year, maybe 2 years, like positive. Okay, advanced. Similarly, you can change the month, date, all the way, whatever way. You can use calendar dot month, all this stuff. So I want to change the calendar date to 2 years advance. Okay, now I can again print the time. You could see now the thing is getting changed by 2 years. 2027 is coming because I have added the calendar to 2 years. If you want to decrease the 2 years, give it -2. It will be -2 means it will be like 23. Same day. If you change the month, year, date, whatever way, you just call it calendar dot date, month, hour, minute, second, whatever way you need. You could see 23 is coming. Okay, that is the one solution for changing the calendar day or month or year. And other ones, like if you want to set everything, okay, all the year, date, everything, calendar dot set method available, right? You could see set. Here you can set only that month, year, or date, or if you want to set the hour, all this stuff also you can set it. Set time zone, right? Okay, set current millis. Okay, all this stuff you can set it. Let's set that one only, year, month, date. Okay, so I want to set 2022 year, month. It will be starting 0 to 11. Okay, 0 means January. So in case you are giving 10, it will be November. Okay, and date you can give something called. Let's give 32. Let's see what's happening. It should throw the error because November is 30th month. Okay, it's giving anyway. It's taking, I think. Okay, it is taking December too. You could see why, because November is 30th month, right? So two thing is again posting it to the next month. Okay, it's not giving that. That is the way its logic is there. Okay, if you give is 22, then it will be November only. Okay, that's best logic, I think, because 32 is 30 days taking for the November month and 2 days going for the next month is taking December. Now you could see 22 November 22. Time part we did not change, so it is still 8 p.m. 21 minutes and 18 second, and change year is getting changed to the 2022. So that is the way you can just do the calculation, and based on requirement you can change the calendar as well. Now I'll see about show you about the date part. Okay, so date part is still work the same way you can create the object, because you are directly calling the date, and here for the calendar you are just calling that instance. Okay, date, say you can give some variable name called date equal to new date, like that. I think it should work. Let's see. Yeah. Now error message is coming, so you need to import the date. Now please import the date from the java.util package. Do not import from the java.sql. It will lot of problem will coming, because date class we need to use from the java.util package, guys. Please. Okay, otherwise your thing will not work. Now what we'll do, I can just print out the date. I can convert it to string if required. I think date dot, there is a method called toString. I convert it to string, then I can print it out. Let's see what's happening with the date. Okay, you could see September 20, today's date, all the same way it's coming. Now say this format, I want to change it, because sometimes I do not prefer the format all the way, right? I want some new format. Because especially whenever you want to capture the screenshot, right? Even second might be not unique. You want to add some millisecond format as well. So what is the way you can change it? So there is a simple date format class available. Okay, there is something called simple date. Okay, if you do not know, if you just type something, you press Control space bar. Okay, you could see this is thing is coming automatically. Just type simple date, you would automatically space Control space bar. All the suggestions. Yeah, go ahead. No, then its problem might be in the keyboard. Let's give a try in the other way. Okay, it should do. There is nothing thing. Okay, then there might be some problem. You can just give a try from other system. It will work. Okay, there is nothing, different other part. Okay, only thing is that maybe some restriction in your system, or maybe something is not working properly. Okay, only just enter and press Control space bar, Control and space bar. Okay, same time. Okay, you could see it is coming from the java.txt package. Okay, now I can create a something called simple date format object SDF equal to what you need to do. You need to just do it new simple date format, and here you need to give that some variable called format. That part we need to define which format we are looking for, and here you need to give that format references. We'll do it later. Now let's see the which format I want to do it. You can define something called string. Let's give something called format. Which format you are looking, so you can give it. So I want looking hour, then minute, then second, then am or pm, then space. I want to get it dd, and month, then only YY part. This is the format I'm looking for. Okay, and then you can copy it here, paste it as variable name. Now you can simply print out SOISO. Which you want to print out? You want to print out that one. Okay, date format, and you need to call that format method. Okay, where you need to pass the data object. So that is the way you can do the formatting. Now let's run it. So this part you no need to worry. You can just Google it, and okay, you could see now it's changed, right? 8:25 second. Okay, PM, and this is the thing we can change. And if you want Y, you can do it. Automatically it will change. So you can change the format based on a requirement. Any GMT or the right other format also you can do it. So just go to Google. Okay, so Java date format. Okay, pattern thing. Okay, you can just get it from the Copilot nowadays also, or other site also you can do it. Okay, you can go to the Oracle site, official site. Okay, you could get everything what is the part is required, actually all the important part. Okay, you could see here date of the year, right, like that way. Okay, let's see what format is there. Okay, you could see the right, this is the format you can use, like that, 3rd December 2021. There will be other site also available. Okay, this is the best thing, I think it came from the Copilot also. Okay, Y is nothing but that year. Y means only 2 year. Means only the month with the numeric value 0 to 11. And if you give triple M, it will be giving you the month name, like short format. If you give it will be giving you September complete name. So that is the stuff you can check. Right? If you giving in the code it will be giving you September. Okay. Now, okay. If you give something called right, it will be giving you the date name. Okay, let's give something here also. Okay, it will give you Saturday, Sunday, all this stuff. Okay, hour, minute, second, right? If you want to get the millisecond also, you can get it. AM, PM format. What are the simple thing you can just give it here? All everything is described mostly. So that is the way you can try based on your requirement. Now you could see 8:27, 47 p.m., 20 December to all the 4 and Saturday is coming. So that is the way you can just give, and you can convert it to the date based on a relevant part with the help of the date class and with the help of the simple date format class in Java. Okay. Any questions? Okay. And here I have given some more sample code with the local date. That is a class also available in Java, local date time. You can get the local date time with the help of the now method. And if you require two date is there, right? Sometimes you need to different date the different. Suppose a system date and your date of birth. You want to understand what is your year, what is your the month, right? All this stuff. Great difference, right? You can use that one. You can convert it to local date. You can give something current date, not now, and you can give your date of birth. After that, you can just get the difference with the days, month, year, all the way. Right? That is also important. You can give it try. Date difference. You can get the local date time. Okay, whatever required. You can get the time zone. Here you need to give something. You need to give Google search. What is the thing you need to give it? Suppose if you want to get something for the Paris, you need to give Europe as Paris, and for the America, okay, America, and then hyphen New York state. And sometime in the format, right, EST, all this stuff you can give here US hyphen EST. So this is the stuff you can Google it, because those are the stuff I cannot recall everything. Just see that what is the formula for time check in the India, like, or like America, like maybe you can just give it try, like zone date time. Just Google it again here. So that value you need to give it accordingly. Zone date time for say India, okay, or maybe for suppose say United Kingdom, for London, give it. You'll be getting that value properly. Okay, what you need to give it properly, current date time in Java. Okay, what you need to give it, you will get it. So that is the way you can give it. All the thing you cannot recall it. Okay, so exactly you need to give what is the time you need to give. London date time, right? You could see here it will be coming. Exact value, yeah, Europe or London. It is there in the Europe and London. That is the way Java already developed. Okay. So what you can do, you can just quickly check something like that. That is the way you can check what is the time there, right? Okay, let's see it here or America. So you need to import that zone date time from the Java dot package. Now you could see how New York time you will be getting it. Mostly it will be like 10-30 minutes delay. Okay, they are lagging behind 10 hours 30 minutes. So you could see 8:31. Okay, for the New York it is like difference is mostly I think 12 hours. Okay, Saturday 8:31. Okay, New York. But now if you want to go for Europe, okay, what is that? Europe and London. Okay, it is like GMT plus 5:30, right? Okay, you could see here 2025. Okay, 1:37 European time. Okay, means 1 a.m. already. So that is the way we can like give a try. Or if we require anything, and you can like especially if you want to keep some differences like for 2 days, you can use that one. Like you can give the 2 date and you can use the date differences, whatever way. If you want to use that day year only, that you can give a try. Now the last couple of important topics we'll cover is called Java exception handling. Okay, what is exception and why we need to handle those exception? That is also very important. Okay, exception is nothing but the like exceptional event, right? Or sometimes some problem might be arising during our code execution. Sometimes we can get some error during saving the code, or sometime we'll be getting only during the right executing the code only, compile time or runtime. So exception or exceptional event is a problem which arises during the execution of a program. When an exception occurs, the normal flow of the program is disrupted and the program or application terminates abnormally, which is not recommended. Therefore, these exceptions are to be handled. Otherwise, what's the problem happen? In case your exception is coming, in case you are not handling the exception, remaining line of code will be not be executed. That's the main problem. But if you handle the exception, exception will be there triggered, but remaining line of code execution will not be stopped. So in case you are having say 1000 line of code and your exception is coming as maybe 200 line and you are not handling the exception, what will happen? It will stop the execution at the 200 line and remaining line of code will never be executed. But if you handle the exception, your exception will be coming at 200 line, but remaining line of code will be coming, and there might be 5 exception can be triggered from this 1000 line of code, and you can get to know all the things. An exception can occur for many different reasons. Like sometimes user has entered invalid data, a file which is already want to do some operation already opened by someone. Network connection has been lost in the middle of communication. Right? These are the different kind of stuff. Exception might be coming. There are mainly three type of exceptions available in Java: checked exception, unchecked, and error. Checked means during compilation time, if you save the code, right, some error might be coming. These are checked exception like IO exception, SQL exception. All these type of will be coming during saving the code. Unchecked exceptions, those of the stuff will not be coming during saving the code. Only whenever we're running the code, then it will be coming. Like array index of bound, right? String index of bound, or maybe that arithmetic exception. This will be coming only when we're running the code. Logic will be checked during execution only. An error. right, which is not the recoverable, right? Suppose say your system got crash, your assertion error, right? Your virtual machine is not working, or maybe suppose say if you want to save some file called 1 MB, but you are only having 500 KB space available, so it will throw you the error. You will not able to save the file. Okay, there are 5 main keyword available to handle the exceptions, like try, catch, finally, throws, and throws. Try is the keyword which is used to specify a block where we should place the exception code. The try block must be followed by either catch or finally. It means we cannot use the try block alone. So try block is used to specify a block where users should place an exception code. Whereas catch block is used to handle the exception. It is must be provided by a try catch block, which means that we cannot use catch block alone again. It can be followed by finally block later as well. The finally block is used to execute all the important code of the program. It is executed whether exception is coming or not. It will always be executed. Okay, throw. In case we want to create a custom exception, you can use the throw keyword. And throws keyword is used to declare some exception. It does not throw an exception. It specifies that there might be some exception or error might be coming. Okay, and it is always used for the method signature. Now we'll discuss about majority of the exception part. Okay, so Java defines several inbuilt exception that are related to various class libraries. Java also allows to define like own exception as well based on the user need. There are built-in exception like arithmetic exception in case you want to do some arithmetical, not logical operation. Just if you want to do some divide something by zero, it will throw the arithmetic exception. Array index out of bound exception in case you are defining some array like size as 5, but if you want to add some value at the sixth position, it will be giving you the error. Or if you want to access something from the seventh position, it will be giving you the error. Class not found. You have written a class, but later that class may be changed or removed, and that class you want to create the object or instance, or you want to call that class to create or call some method, so it will be throwing the error. File not found, right? File got removed or renamed, it will be throwing the error. IO exception, input or output operation is failed or interrupted, then it will throw you that. Interrupted exception, it is thrown when the thread is waiting, sleeping, or doing some processing and is interrupted. So that part will be covered in the thread part. So in case you are trying to use some thread which is already not working, right? It's idle mode. So it will be giving that error called interrupted exception. No such field. In case you want to when a class does not contain the field or the variable specified, okay, that variable is not longer visible or removed or renamed. No such method. Whenever you are trying to access some method which is not there, or removed or renamed or moved to the different classes. Null pointer exception. In case you are defining some string as a null, after that if you want to print the length, it will be throwing the null pointer exception. Number format exception you already seen, right? You already defined some data type, right, as a string, and you want to change the format to integer or or double, but wherever there is, this is not purely integer or double, it is having some string value as well, it will be giving you that error. Runtime exception is represent any exception which occurs during runtime. String index of bound, similarly same way as like array index of bound. In case you want to get some string which size is like 3 or 4, you want to access at fifth position, sixth position element, it will be throwing you the error. Now we'll see what is the way exception will be coming and how we can handle the exception. So try block contains a set of statement where an exception can occur. A try block is always followed by catch block, which handle the exception that occurs in associated try block. A try block must be followed by catch blocks or finally block or both. A single try block can have multiple number of catch blocks. In case no exception is coming, your try catch block will be completely ignored. Now let's see one good example of an exception. Let's try to write some code first. So okay, code before exception. Just this two line I'll be writing it, and here I'll be writing one code after exception. So do not do any side of okay as of now. Do not error or exception is coming. So if you want to run simply, it will run both the line of code like code before exception, code after exception. Exception. That is fine, perfectly fine. Now let's try to give something called define something integer a equal to okay 10, okay, or maybe you can give something called 10 divided by 0, okay, and you can try to print out if required, or you can just define it only. Okay, now see what's happening. If you run it now, what will happen? Okay, before the exception code is executed, after the exception coming, line number 39, you could see exception in the main thread main java.lang.arithmetic exception by 0 at com.selenium.training, that is the package, this is the class name, this is the main method, and line number 39. So that is fine, exception is there, exception will be coming. But main problem is remaining line of code also not being executed because you are getting the exception but you did not handle it. So what is the way I can handle the exception? Select the line of code, go to source. There is already options available called surround with. Okay, and handle the try catch block. You could see automatically this is coming. Now you can run it. Your exception will be handled and remaining line of code will be also executed. You could see this is exception coming, handle, and this is remaining line of code is also coming. Now if you want to do it manually also, you can do it. So what you can do? Try before the exception. You could see try statement. After the catch exception name, you can give what exception is coming, arithmetic exception. I can just copy it, this exception name. Or if you do not know all this stuff, you can use simply exception. It will still work because this is the master thing. It will handle all kind of exception. Try, give second bracket. Syntax I'll simply using statement catch. Okay, then what? Exception name. Okay, and I can give some variable name called arithmetic exception variable name. I can give it. Then what is that exception handling code? Okay, I want to print out. Okay, sorry, this try. Okay, and then I need to give the bracket here one. Okay, because this is the, with the help of the try, I want to get the exception and handling with the help of the catch, catching it. So simply you can print out the variable, or you can paste dot. You can use something called get message, get phrase, all this part. You can get the message completely. Now you could see that is the way you can handle the exception. Okay, you could see code before exception, and this is the exception is coming. Or if you do not just simply want to print the exception, that is also you can print it out only. It will give you the complete exception. Only instead of message, you will give everything. What exception coming? Java.lang.arithmetic exception by 0. And now instead of this arithmetic, you can still use exception also. Okay, it will still work because exception is the parent of all kind of exception. But better to give the actual exception name. You could see still it is working and remaining line of code also not be executing getting. Now here in the Java try catch block, I can surround with some finally block. So finally block contains all the crucial statement that must be executed whether exception is coming or not. In case sometime exception is not coming, still I want to execute some code, I can use that finally block in the relation with Java try catch block. So that in case exception is not coming, it is getting ignored. So your try catch block will be completely ignored, but finally block will be always executed irrespective of exception is coming or not. So finally block must be associated with the try catch block. User cannot use finally without the try block. User should place those statements in this block that must be executed always. In normal case, whenever there is no exception is coming in the try catch block will be ignored, but finally block will be always executed. Okay. So let's see how what is the way finally. I can use something called finally. Okay, I can give something called finally. So finally block will be always executed. Now let's see what's happening here. Okay, this is coming, then exception is triggered, then this code for the final block is coming, then after the code is coming. Now say I'm not giving any exception. Okay, it is working. Exception will be ignored completely. Try catch block will be ignored completely. So, but final block will be always executed. You could see Your exception is not coming because there is no exception. It's a valid code. So your finally block will be always executed. Why this final block required? Suppose in case you are dealing with some file, right? Primarily say, just giving example. So there might be some error might be coming in case we are opening the file, okay, or not. That does not matter. But at the end of the day, you need to close the file. So this those part closing part you can always surround with finally block. So whether your exception is coming or not, that does not care. You can close it. Suppose you are working with WebDriver object like Chrome driver. Okay, whatever happening, whatever error is coming, page is working or not, defect is coming, but at the end you want to always close the browser. So those part you can make it in the finally block. So irrespective of whatever happening, pass or fail, your driver or your window will be always closed. So those are the stuff you can always surround with the finally block. So this is the example of arithmetic exception. Now in case you are having some other part, say just give something, define some array. Okay, let's define some other part like string. Okay, let's define something called string str equal to null. Now what I am doing, I want to get the okay string dot size. I want to get it. So it will throwing the error because string is null. String dot length, sorry, length method is there, right? Length. And what will be coming? You could see. Okay, is null pointer exception is coming. So now I can either go with that exception or I can use the null pointer exception. Still it will work. But if you give the other different kind of exception, it will be throwing the error. Okay, either exact exception name or thing. You can do it. I can change the variable name to e. That's fine. Now see. Okay, like null pointer exception is coming, and what is the exact stuff is coming. Your final block always executed. Now if you give some valid value, let's give something called Java. It is a valid value, and your exception will be try catch block will be completely ignored. But your finally block will be always executed. That is the way you can do it. You could see now the output is coming as 4 because the length is 4. So your try catch block is ignored. Your code before and finally block code and code after also executed after all the exception. So that is the way you can deal with the different kind of exception. You can handle those exceptions with the help of the Java try catch and finally block. Now last thing I'll cover today is called throw keyword. So these are the different exceptions coming by default from the Java or already stored in Java. But sometime I require to define some exception called illegal exception, like invalid exception, anything. You want to create something custom level. Okay, so you can use the throw keyword in Java, and so that is the way you can explicitly throw an exception from a method or any block of code. The throw keyword is mainly used to throw custom exception. Throw is used within the method only. So what you can do, just like that way, like in the method level you can try to use something called, okay, in the class level you can use something public static void, or you can just use it normal also, just give some exception. So let's comment out all this part. I want to create some custom exception, so I'll be giving public, okay, static, so that I can directly call it without any return call object. Void, and I can give some exception called like say illegal exception, anything. Okay, here and here you need to use throw, right? New arithmetic exception, throw keyword, throw new, and you can give the name whatever you want to call, right? You can give something called like invalid or illegal, like illegal exception name, and here you can give the body like not a valid exception, just anything. Okay, especially whenever you will be dealing with Okay, I think we need to call that exact exception. Okay, illegal. One second. Okay, you could see. I think those are the stuff will be coming. Illegal. Okay, nothing is there. Okay, give something called arithmetic. Okay, yeah, it's coming. Arithmetic exception. Now, whatever is there, you need to just call it. Whether you can pass some string or do it. Okay, but this illegal exception we can call it. But exception thing we need to that exact thing we need to call it. But we can give some any name, custom name. Best we can customize it and whatever thing we want to print it out. Now what you need to do is just call that one exception to trigger the manual exception created by the throw keyword. Let's do it. Okay, you could see we're trying to create some custom exception. It is not working like that. Not printing out not a valid exception. It's coming like that exception. Main thread. What is that exception? Java or lang arithmetic exception. Not a valid exception. Which line number coming? Exception created. Line number this. And where it is being called? Line number 42. So that is the way you can do it. Primarily, whenever we'll be setting the framework, right? In case you want to deal with some browser like Chrome, Firefox, or maybe Edge. But in case the browser is not matching with the other one, we can throw some exception. That is not a valid browser. If user did not provide the out of the valid browser, it's invalid browser. Instead of just printing something, we can just trigger an exception. So that is the way we can deal with this throw keyword as well. So let me repeat whatever has been covered today. After that, in case you are having any questions, we will take it forward today. Okay. So today, like couple of important topics I have tried to cover. Primarily the conditional statement, which is primarily used to control. We used to control the flow of the program and insert verification point or error handling. Five conditional statement: if else, nested if else if or else if, and then switch. If in case your condition is true, it will be helpful to execute the code. But in case condition is true or false, you can use if or else statement. And nested if else nothing but like if else within the if else. Okay. And if else if means in case you are having multiple conditions more than two, right? You can use that one. So always it will go for the first, second, third. In case nothing is working, it will go for the last default else part. And switch is also similar with multiple conditions. Okay, where each thing will be considered as a case, and case should be always unique, and every case should be surrounded with by ended by break statement, which is optional though. Okay, in case nothing is matching, it will go for the default statement, switch statement. Okay, so a switch statement allows a variable to be tested for equality against a list of values. Each value is called a case, and the variable being switched on is checked for each case. It work with like sort, char, integer, long data type, and switch statement value cannot be duplicate. Okay, method is nothing but the reusable component. You can try to create it only one time and reuse it n number of time. If you want to change it, you can just update the method only, and automatically everywhere it is being called, it will be updated. There are two category of method. One is user defined, one is built-in method. In built-in, like you already seen that date, calendar, like simple date format, all the important classes method already. The sting method you already learned in the previous session. User defined method, you can create something where you can return type will be void or not returning anything, and sometimes return type will be any data type like or primitive or non-primitive as well. And you can create that method as a like static or non-static as well. In case static, you can directly call it. In case non-static, you need to create the object, for instance, first. After that, you can call it. And constructor is similar to method only, but a constructor name should be same as the class name, and constructor cannot have any body, and constructor cannot have any static keyword also. As and when creating the object, automatically constructor will invoke. That is the beauty. Constructor can be overloaded, means you can create constructor with changing the number of argument, type of argument, always. So scanner class actually used to the Java scanner class located within the Java utility package is a utility designed for parsing primitive types and string from the various input source such as console with the help of the system.in or files or even other string object. So there are a lot of important methods available to deal with different data type along with string, because primary all the PBD data type does not belong to any class. So basically in the collection framework, they will not able to interact because they do not belong to any class. And Java collection framework does not understand without the class or object. So first we can convert those data type into some object into the collection framework. There are 8 different wrapper class available for every data type. Okay, so we can just convert them and we can use them as a object later point of time, so that it will be helpful to deal with the Java collection framework. Okay, date and calendar function sometimes is required to get the current date, to differentiate to date, right? To understand the difference, right? To like add some value, right? Year, month, calendar, or like go to the previous one, right? You can do it. And sometimes you also need to change that format of the part, local date time, like what is the time format for the other area. You can also get it with the help of this date and calendar class available in Java. Then exceptions might be coming in Java sometime, right? Especially checked exception, unchecked exception, or error, right? In case you are not handling the exception, what will happen? Remaining line of code execution will be stopped there. That is the problem. So we can handle the exception with the help of the try, catch, finally, or throws keyword primarily. Okay, there are different kind of exceptions available in Java, like array index of bound, string index of bound, arithmetic, class not found, file not found, IO exception, no such field exception, interrupt exception, no such method exception, number format exception, null pointer exception, runtime exception. So in case those kind of exception is coming, always try to handle them exception, right? So the remaining line of code will be executed, and you can handle the exception with the help of try catch block or finally block. So try catch block definitely contains set of statement where exception might occur. In case no exception is coming, its block will be completely ignored. A try block should be always followed by a catch block or a finally block. Okay, without catch or finally, you cannot use the try block. And then try block must be followed by multiple finally block as well. Sorry, multiple catch block as well. And finally block contains all the crucial statement that must be executed always, whether exception is coming or not. And the finally block can be surrounded with the try catch block in Java. In case your exception is ignored or not coming, your try catch block can be ignored, but your finally block will be always executed. So those are the code what we always wanted to execute. Those are the code we can write in the write the finally block. So irrespective of any exception is coming or not, your try catch block is executing or not, your final block will be always executed, and user can do the relevant endful. And throw keyword is primarily used to in case they want to define some custom exceptions, like with the help of the throw keyword they can user can try to create a custom exceptions, and they can call it based on the requirement. And throw is used within the method only. So that's all from today's session. Hopefully you learned a new concept from today's session, and we'll be taking another two more session for the Java. And next session will be primarily covering the Java ops concept. And in the Java last session, which is the session 5, we'll try to cover that Java input output operations, and then your Java collection framework, multi-threading. Because all the thing, whatever Java will be really required in Selenium, your Selenium testng or framework journey, will be learning it here only. But no need to worry, everything will be covering from the scratch. Just do the practice. Okay, be patient. Okay, and do all the way whatever is given through the in the class and inside the document as well. And any questions, reward me, we will try to help you out. Thank you.